Welcome to the Horror Hotel. Today we're gonna talk about how some people piggyback on the success of other brands or franchises and make their own movies named in the same franchises. So today we're mostly gonna focus on Day of the Dead because it has not one but two of those kind of movies, and it's something else, right? It's something else. So we're gonna talk about that. I have been thinking about this for a while now, but I was unsure how to actually put it, because it happens once in a while, and this time it happened again with the release of Day of the Dead Bloodline. There was something sour with that release, because first and foremost I do enjoy a good zombie flick, which I've talked about before on this channel, but it had the name Day of the Dead, which with me does not speak of confidence enough to pull through by itself. See, this have happened before to this very brand name, namely Day of the Dead Contagion. That one is a movie I can't recall talking about, but it kind of fits in perfect for an example of what this video is about, namely that some movies using certain brand names in order to trick people into thinking the movie is of quality when in reality it's utter and complete garbage. I for one can say a lot about this movie. I have it right here, but my copy is called The Beginning, so they tried to reframe it as something better than it is. For example, it has a nice 2.2 rating on IMDb, which is way too high for me, and that is not... The movie is not even so bad it's funny, you know, it's just horrifically boring and sad, and if you want to know what they store zombie viruses in, it is coffee thermoses. It doesn't help the fact that the film portrays mental patients with various mental illnesses and as people that are mentally challenged more than anything, which I can only assume is a prejudice from the producers and the creators, because it's kind of insulting. Actually, it's just shit. It's absolute garbage. Just throw it out. I'm gonna go out on the shooting range and shoot it one day. I'm gonna film it. But then came the release of Day of the Dead Bloodline, and it was a Netflix release, so I had my hopes up kind of a little bit going in. I was kind of determined that I was gonna review the movie, and I started to write it after the second time I saw it. However, after a while it kind of felt pointless, because all I would do is nag it down, and while that is perfectly okay with the review, I realized that the issue was mainly with the name. Understand me correctly here, the movie is really bad, but I would have been more okay with it if it didn't try to piggyback on a great filmmaker's creation. And to add salt to the injury, these movies aren't really sequels or build onto the story that Romero created. They are their own original work, even though I don't really want to say that Contagion is anything but trash. They are standalone films and should have their own names. The loose connection they have to the work of Day of the Dead is just zombies. The Walking Dead. The horrors of the night that is... fuck it. And not even that is really accurate either to the zombies Romero used for his movies. Basically, these movies could have been their very own names. Be shit. I'm okay with it. That you exist. I don't care. I don't care. But they don't do that, do they? They take a well-established name and put it on shit movies, which makes it kind of infuriating. Thinking of it, has there ever been a Dawn of the Dead 2? Huh. Oh yeah, there was a Dawn of the Dead in 2017 called Dawning of the Dead, but it was renamed Apocalypse in several places. I wonder why. In conclusion, I would like to point out that I'm not against the idea of continuing a franchise if you got some good ideas for it and not just use its name to get non-deserved notoriety or non-deserved sales. A pretty good example of this, which was actually a bit surprised, was Deep Blue Sea 2. It took the idea of the first movie and showed it love and respect while building on its own storyline. It was well executed and most importantly fun to watch. When I watched it, I never once felt that it stomped on the original idea or anything, and the movie should sit as a pretty good example on how to fucking do it. And with that, I will end this video. Thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want to support me, subscribe to this channel or leave a comment below. Tell me to fuck off or whatever you want to do. And while you're doing that, there are other links in the description for my Patreon. And if you ever want to ask me anything, there is my Curious Cat or my Twitter. Thank you everyone for coming out. I really appreciate it.